How we doing today, folks? I know it's been a while since I've posted anything connected to doing stuff outside, but I'm back on top of the Allis D14 and I'm at my upper garden. You can see I had mowed it all down with the brush hog. I took the fencing all off except for a couple of those stakes that were in the ground pretty far from the electric fence. But what I want to do is try to plow this under before the winter comes. I have a window now. It's been dry and warm and we haven't had the real bad fall rains yet, so I'm going to plow this under for the winter. I'm probably not going to do anything with rye this year, but we'll see. Another thing I'm going to do is this bottom section of the garden was so wet. It's always been so wet. So I'm going to creep it up maybe 20 feet and go up maybe 20 feet higher. Maybe spread it out a little bit. Since I don't have to worry about wire or fencing, I can do whatever I want basically. So I'll come back to you when we're ready to start and you can follow along with the plowing. Okay, we're about ready to go. The plow is down. It's the Allis snap coupler 2-bottom plow we got with the tractor. You've seen that before. And I'm ready to start here. I'll see what I can show you in the mirror while I'm plowing, but we're ready to go. I'm gonna plow in low gear. I could probably get away with it in second, but no sense straining the tractor. So here we go. Oh, the dog's gonna help out too, I guess. And we're tilling. Had some rain, but not a huge amount. Okay, there we go. I'm only going to throw the furrows one way again like I usually do because of the downhill slope of this garden. I'm trying to protect it from washing. I got the furrow a little crooked there because I'm trying to hold the camera while I'm trying to plow. But you can see the soil looks pretty good. It's not as dry as it was. But we haven't had a whole lot of rain in a while, so I figured it wouldn't be too muddy to do. So we'll see what we can do here to get this all tilled up. I'll probably show you a couple passes and then when it's half done and then when it's all done. Heading towards evening here, so I want to get this done before I have one more good day before the rains come in, so I'd like to get this done tonight, if not tomorrow for sure. All right, here we go again. I'll see if I can get rid of this camera strap. See if I can. Oh, that's in your way here too. See if I can't kind of hold it like this so you can see the furrows turn. Ready? Here we go. A whole lot easier now that I got this mirror. I used to have to sit sideways and turn my neck. And if this isn't perfect, that's okay because I'll probably turn it over again in the spring. We'll see how it goes. I'm still doing a section that was outside the garden last year. That's all soil that hasn't been turned over in a number of years. I'll go one more and then I'll give it a break. I have a good portion of it done, maybe not quite half. But notice the difference here where I'm plowing where the garden was versus those first few passes when I was above the garden. The clumps, the sod clumps aren't here because it wasn't in sod. It had been tilled several times, and even though the clay is still fairly heavy and I do have some clumping, it's nowhere near like it was where I was plowing that it hadn't been worked before. And it's coming through, we're going through here a lot easier too. So come along for this pass, and then I'll come back to you when we're almost done. See if we can't do it with the mirror this time. It looks fairly nice now, the furrows. The sod is breaking up a bit even as I'm turning it over, which is what I want. I'm hoping maybe over the winter the rain and the snow and the freeze and the thaw will break up some of those sod clumps a bit. But we'll deal with what we got. Alright, I'll come back to you again. Alright, well, it's the next day, next afternoon. It got to be too dark to show you the end last night, but I've got it pretty much done. You can see it, furrows turned out fairly nice, and you can see about how much I have moved it up. I think I'll go maybe, one more pass through here, I guess, yet is what I'm thinking. It should be up high enough. See, the worst of, as you can see, the worst of it, the wet was down in that first 10 feet, those first few furrows, first few rows where the corn was. That was the worst of it, so probably do that, and it's still fairly large as a garden, so it's probably end up being bigger than it was, but that's all right. I've got plenty of space left that I could even move up higher or spread it out more. So here we go. We'll pull into position here, and you can watch along. That'll do it. Now on to the lower garden. I'll come back to you. Okay, this one's going to involve a whole lot more fooling around because I didn't take the fencing off around the outside, so I'm going to have to basically back into the corner, run the furrow as far as I can, then back up again and just do it that way, which isn't the way I'd prefer, but to keep the rabbits out, I'm not going to tear all this fencing down and have to put it all back up next year. Especially because I put boards around the perimeter and so on. So do the best we can, and I'll have to finish it off with the tiller in the spring. So second garden, I'll come back to you when I'm stuck. Okay, here we go. First pass through. Shorter. Okay, I'm going to just show you later on. This is too much fooling around with the camera, with the backing up and starting and so on. So I'll be back. So we're about half done here. I'll let you go along with this run. going okay. The ground is very nice here. It's a bit wet, but the furrows aren't clodding up. They're falling nicely. Again, this was ground that was tilled, so the sod clumps weren't here either. So here we go. I'll come back to you when it's about done. You can see the progress. Well, there we go. The lower garden's done as good as I can get it with the plow. It's a lot of fooling around, but it sure saves a lot of time sitting on my butt just backing up on the tractor than pushing that tiller through over and over again. So at any rate, we're set for the winter with the garden now. I probably won't do anything else with it as far as putting on any cover crops or anything. I might think about some lime pellets, but I'm not sure at this point yet if I want to. But we're done for the year, so you got a chance to see this garden from beginning to end for another year. Both gardens actually. So let me wrap up this video then by showing you what I'm working on with the next project already. So hang on for that. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notifications bell, tell your friends about us. Thank you again as we live in the country on a shoestring. Now that the garden's finished, this is my next project I've also been working on. I need to get this done before the weather gets bad. I've got to finish up my firewood for the winter. You can see I've cut a lot of huge slabs up here so that they're small enough to deal with. It's a variety of oak and ash. There's some birch in here. There's some maple in here. It's all stuff that a friend of mine brought to me. He was cutting some trees down for people. He's been doing this several months. He just does it on the side as a hobby, I guess, or to help people out. And these chunks were either too big or too twisted for anybody to want, so he loaded up his dump truck with his backhoe, brought them here and dumped them. So I've been working at it. You can see there's some other junk mixed in here. He had an oak tree splinter, so he brought me all the splinter pieces that I could use for kindling. So I'm not going to turn down free firewood. It's labor intensive. I'd rather just cut nice looking trees in the woods and get it that way, but again, I'm not going to turn it down. This should be, what's here should be pretty much enough to finish me off for the year. I'll show you where how the firewood bays look at this point, and then you can see. But we're in good shape for this winter, I think, and we'll soon have to get started cutting for next year. So that's what we jump onto now that we've got the gardens all done. Here's where my wood supply project stands. This bay is completely full. This bay has almost 2 out of the 5 rows of firewood that it'll need. As you can see, there's still a lot that have to fill in here yet. The other side is completely full. Lean-to is completely full. So basically, I'm thinking what I've got so far stacked will take me into March. So over the worst of the winter, I'm in good shape. Thank you for watching.